He's back. Yes, by popular demand. It's been a while, but we have him. Dr. Eugene Cornacchia is president of St. Peter's University in beautiful Jersey City. Good to see you, Gene.
Good to see you.
Hey, listen, taping the program on the 20th of July. Who the heck knows what's going to happen moving forward? What is the game plan at St. Peter's University September 1?
We are back in full operation as of September 1. In fact, a little bit earlier than that here. All employees are required to be vaccinated. All students are required to be vaccinated. All our facilities will be open. We're ready to go. We're ready to launch.
I've been asking you about leadership for a decade now. Biggest leadership lesson you've learned in the last 18 months as we do this program is?
Expect the unexpected all the time.
All the time.
All the time. Some things you can plan for, but so many things you just can't. Nobody could have planned for this pandemic.
Yeah. So let's get into a couple areas. One of the things I keep thinking about is the future of higher education post-COVID, meaning because there were so many disruptions, because it was so hard to plan, as you just said, do you think that higher education, particularly non-public higher education, the independent universities and colleges like yours, do you think that it's, well, you would know, you know the numbers, is it harder to attract students and make the case today?
You know, it is harder. In fact, pre-pandemic, we were already under some stressors, right? I mean, there was this whole question about the value of higher education and, you know, et cetera. So, but now more and more families, financially vulnerable, this is going to continue for a long time. This is not over yet for them. They have the impacts of poor health as a result of the pandemic that's going to linger for a long time. So it's put enormous additional stress on families and young people. So I think we all have concluded that the future of higher ed generally is going to be one of increased stress and suffering for lots of schools and institutions. Independent institutions as well will suffer. I think it behooves us to make our case stronger than ever before.
St. Peter's University, again, you and I have had so many conversations over the years on the air and off about the commitment to minority students, underserved students. It sounds like such a cliche, but it's true, but disproportionately affected by COVID, as it relates to their opportunities in higher education. Fair?
Fair, yes, very fair.
And therefore, what has to be done to try, now forget about rectifying it, to improve that terrible, those inequities?
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much here really to unpack, but I would say one thing that would go a long way would be to increase student financial aid, particularly double the Pell. That's a
double the Pell. Pell grants are federal grants.
Federal grants, right? So yeah, so what we're trying to do is, I'm co-chair of a national task force for the Jesuit institutions to get Congress to double Pell to $13,000 maximum for students. So what that would do would be allow students from the lower socioeconomic groups, right, the ones we just talked about, to have an opportunity to achieve the education of their choice. Because that's the advantage to Pell. They can take that money wherever they want to go to find the school, the institution that best serves their individual needs.
What's the appetite in Congress for that?
You know, I think it's growing. It's going to be a heavy lift, and we may not get it all done in 1 year. You know, we may get a gradual increase over the next few years, but, you know, I do think people are starting to see, you know, we're in a moment, we're discussing nationally the question of equality, right, among the races especially, but equality, justice issues, and this is a key question of equity and justice.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question about education itself. I mean, you're a political scientist by background. You've taught, you teach, you love teaching. I've been on your campus to do guest lectures. I happen to teach at another university, and I've done it both in person and remotely. In terms of learning, do you believe that remote learning, as it's currently structured, works to the degree it needs to work, teaches to the degree it needs to teach? I know it's a loaded question, Gene, but
you know, I would say that it can serve some students' purposes well, but probably not the vast majority. For example, in our own experience, we find many graduate students can prosper with remote learning, or certainly a heavy combination of in-class and remote. But undergraduates, particularly the groups that we serve, that we were talking about, the underserved, the vulnerable, they need that one-on-one, hands-on kind of instruction, the interaction in class. When I was teaching, I remember some of the most fruitful discussions I had with students were before class started, after class started, going to my next class with them walking alongside or to my office. Those are the interactions that just cannot happen virtually.
Yeah, real quick. Not too long ago, the governor announced Governor Murphy announced $28.5 million going to nearly 36 schools, et cetera, et cetera. A lot of these are independent universities and colleges. St. Peter's University got $500,000.
I'm very grateful for it.
Well, you gave the right answer.
I'm very grateful.
Thanks.
Not that I'm greedy, but thank you, Governor.
Is there any but on that, Dr. Cornacchia? Is there any but?
No. I do
good.
think
You're good.
We're grateful.
Okay. Just to be clear. By the way, you should check out steveadubato.org and listen to the other university and college presidents offer their perspective on public funding of universities and colleges. Hey, Gene, listen.
You didn't ask me that question, though.
What other people got? I'm going to lay off that one. Eugene Cornacchia is Dr. Eugene Cornacchia is the president of St. Peter's University in beautiful Jersey City, New Jersey. Gene, as always, it's been a pleasure. It will not be this long again before we have you on talking about a whole range of issues. And we wish you and the family at St. Peter's University all the best.
Thank you, Steve.
I'm Steve Adubato. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Think Tank with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation. Funding has been provided by the Turrell Fund, supporting Reimagine Childcare, Investors Bank, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, Summit Health, the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, Johnson & Johnson, the Healthcare Foundation of New Jersey, United Airlines, and by the Adler Aphasia Center. Promotional support provided by NorthJersey.com and Local IQ, part of the USA Today network, and by CIANJ and Commerce Magazine.
Hi, I'm Governor Tom Kean. A dear friend of mine had aphasia, which is a language disorder that occurs from a brain injury or a stroke. It robs a person's ability to communicate, but it doesn't affect their intellect. Programs and services offered at the Adler Aphasia Center help to improve my friend's communication skills, as well as her self-confidence and quality of life. Most importantly, she was among people who understood her. If you or a loved one has been diagnosed with aphasia, there is hope.